Good morning, everyone. Okay. Quite often people say, how can I serve this spiritual center? And one of the ways to serve the spiritual center is to be in the choir. Seems of late we've had a hard time getting people to show up for choir and be in the choir. Norma does the most amazing stuff with people. You can just barely, if you can carry a tune, she will turn you into a singer. She is so good. And the choir is so good when she gets done putting together the music and the parts and the people. So if you're looking for somewhere to serve the church, why don't you just try the choir on Thursday night at 6:30. Show up, it's downstairs in the middle room. I think you're going to really enjoy it. All right, is there anybody here from another unity? They tell me to do this just so you can look friendly with other people from the unity. Is there anybody here for the first time? Nobody's here for the first time? Okay. Then I'll have to tell you a joke. I have to fill the time, okay? Can I tell you a joke? What do you call a person that has no body, just a nose? Nobody knows.
That's always a tough act to follow. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder. Those of you who are joining us here in person, and those of you who are joining us online, thank you for spending some time here at Unity of Boulder. We got a few events that are going to be starting soon, and a few that are still ongoing. If you haven't had a Rocks via Convergence healing session with Cintisha's friend Sebastian Watts, you really should check it out. We've put an extra week on it. We still have a few more lessons, or not lessons, a few more sessions left in this coming week to sign up for them. But you do have to sign up for them first. There's no drop-in. We have specific time slots for it. It happens down in the meditation room. It's you can get in for as low as $50 if you join a group setting or a group session, or it's $130 if you go and have your own one-on-one session for 75 minutes. I highly recommend it. I've had a session with him in the past week. It takes you somewhere else. But make sure you sign up for that soon, because the time slots are limited, and he eventually is flying back to Costa Rica. So let's see what else we got here. We have a workshop coming up led by our very own seer, Zoilita Grant. It'll be called Secrets to Living a Successful Life. It's a 5-week class starting March 5th. If you look in the handouts are actually still misprinted from last week. It says April. Okay, well, follow the date that it starts on, but not the time. It's a class that takes place during the day. It goes from 2 to 3:30, not 6 to 7:30. So it's a daytime class. It'll take place here at Unity of Boulder. It's $100 to sign up for the whole thing, and you can sign up for that in the bookstore, over the phone, or online. So definitely sign up for that as soon as you can. Zoilita is absolutely a wonderful teacher. Next, we're kind of working. We've got our man Joel out here in the lobby, kind of getting people ready to start planting some stuff and transplanting stuff out here in pots and plants and out in our garden. For getting in preparation for this Earth Day. If you have any interest in that, please stop by Joel right out following the service in the lobby, and he will be happy to chat with you. He's at the table over on this side. All right, thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you all here. Thank you for that eager good morning, George. I appreciate it. All right, this is the moment in the service where it's a call to prayer. It's a time to align ourselves with and as God in prayer. So we're not asking for some devotion from God. We know that we are the expression of this healing love, and so we align with that power and see our friends and family members in prayer and holding them in this healing light. And you can write their names down on a piece of paper that are available to you in front of you, on the pew in front of you, and then Steve Sheets, who's the head of our prayer team, will walk down the aisle and collect your pieces of paper, and they'll go into our prayer box for a month here, being prayed over every Wednesday evening, and then they will also be handed off to Unity Village for another month, being prayed over 24 hours a day for 30 days. So we sing this song because they say to sing is to pray twice. So we're asking you to sing with us and join in this union with Spirit within this divinity. You are the air I breathe. You are the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me. So it is, and today's music is being shared by one of our favorite artists. Let's have a warm welcome from Rebecca Abraxas.
All that we know, all we are, we've been taught is so bizarre. Dependent on another force, when all along we've been the source. Who would you be if you knew who you really were? How would you feel if you could trust your own word? What if you could shine the only way you shine, and help the world come alive? Like letting go of the hands that feed them. Children, get ready for more freedom. Open to a different way where you always know you're okay. Who would you be if you knew who you really were? How would you feel if you could trust your own word? What if you could shine the only way you shine, and help the world come alive? Ooh, what would it take for you to like you? I know it can be so hard to do, but what if being all of you is the world's next breakthrough? Who would you be if you knew who you really were? How would you feel if you could trust your own word? What if you could shine the only way you shine, and help the world come alive? Are you alive out there? Here we go, one more time. Who would you be if you knew who you really were? How would you feel if you could trust your own word? What if you could shine the only way you shine, and help the world come alive? Ooh.
Thank you, Rebecca, for a wonderful way to start today. Nice to see you all here. Today is a new talk series that I'm starting for the next 4 weeks. This is number 1, and it's the new Earth opening to the 5D consciousness. We've been talking about that even in the series that I was doing before, which was about the numerology 8, that we were moving through, that this is the year of the 8. It's a very abundant year to manifest that which you're ready to come into in your life. And really, we were doing a lot of preparation last year to get into aligning ourselves vibrationally with the landing of all this good to come into our life. And so we're already on the path to 5D consciousness. You know, there's so many different words for going from 3D to 5D. Right now, this seems to be the kind of the trendy wording for awakening, right? Or heightening the soul, merging the soul with spirit, and connecting with this greater energy that can keep us at a frequency of love and peace and freedom, really, in our beings, and getting out of the entrapment of the mind and the lower nature that keeps us held hostage from the unfoldment of our good. So today what I'm going to be covering is speaking light language, which is the process of moving several energetic systems within our multidimensional selves. Our words have power. They have a lot of power. And it's not necessarily the words that we speak out to others and to the universe as much as the ones we speak to ourselves. So we're always, unfortunately, talking to ourselves, and hopefully they're empowering us. But a lot of times the things that we're sharing with ourselves are hindering us. They're limiting us, and we're speaking to the lower, limited, broken parts of ourselves, or we're one of those people that are constantly beating ourselves up to do things better and like force ourselves, maybe with a voice of somebody that raised us, that got us to be overly particularly hard on accomplishing things, right? So light language is a language of love that we can share with ourselves, and we can start sharing with others. So I always start lately just kind of letting you know what unity isn't, so that you can understand what unity is. Unity is not a religious-centered or church-centered, Jesus-centered or dogma-centered spiritual center. Jesus stressed a spiritual philosophy that is you-centered. You do not accomplish Jesus' ideal simply by believing things about him. You must come to believe about yourself what Jesus believed about himself. So Unity's teachings isn't about something to believe, it is something to do. And judging by the many, many people that have moved through the lobbies and the Unity churches all over the country, we believe that it will change your life if you can take to task the wonderful teachings of Unity and how you apply them. You'll hear playing right now the 963 hertz frequency of God. That's the one I'm playing this time. I've been playing different ones each week. I'm trying to cover the emotional body, the physical body, the mental body, right? So we've got the visual of this opening. This is actually the visual of this frequency that comes out, listening to the 963 hertz. This one covers the life seed. Miracles and infinite blessings will reach your life, and it also represents the number 11. And today, it's very fitting that it's the number 11 that it represents, because today is the birthday of my son, Luca, who was born 19 years ago and also passed away later that day. So 11, being that it's February 18th, it adds up to an 11. So I saw the 11 as the number of the sign and symbol of my connection with him through the spirit world. It thinned the veil to the spiritual energy that brought me through the grief of that loss, and actually in the end awakened my entire life. So the gift of that birth and the gift of rocking my child as he passed over back into the spiritual realm was beautiful, hard, but gave me my life and gave it to me abundantly. So this is a special day of celebration for me. And 11 is what I'd always see for the clock, or, the different ways numbers come in. A lot of us have spirit numbers that become the number that represent really source connecting with us. And I don't just isolate it to Luca, because I know he's just part of that universal source of love, right? It's not physical, it's a spiritual frequency. And so I have always that contact in that love eternally all the time. And when we start to really understand that, we get less and less attached to this physical experience and much more curious about the ethereal, the part of us, the soul that never dies. When we really, really get that, it opens up a whole new understanding of what we're growing here. We're growing the soul. And We grow the soul by becoming more and more curious to the ways that the universe communicates with us and how it divinely directs every aspect of our lives. And so I'm going to share some principles with you to kind of explain how unity sets us up for connecting with this greater power, this greater love. So this is principle 3 of 5 out of the Unity's basic principles. We are co-creators with God, creating a reality through thoughts held in mind. We are co-creators with God, creating a reality through thoughts held in mind. And today we are going to focus on light language and what that means. So I would write it this way. We are co-creators with God, creating a reality through thoughts held in mind, creating a reality one phrase at a time. Right? So it's the thoughts that are stimulating the words. And so are those empowering, powerful thoughts that are going to align us with this greater power and birth and express a wonderful experience here? Or are they words that are speaking to the lesser than the limited self? So how we use the principles in unity. The principles are our toolbox. They're our tools to use to align with the God mind. So we use it, so we are co-creators with God, creating our reality through our thoughts, through our words, right? So when we get into the consciousness that we are creating our reality, we align with what are the thoughts and words I'm sharing with self and other, right? And that connects us with God mind. We get into this higher experience where we observe oneself from the light and take an inventory of where we're coming up short. Right? I've been writing the sermon this week, and I watch the words I share. I watch the words I say to myself. And yet, today I caught myself talking to my dad this morning about something that's bothering me, completely unconsciously, rebuilding on this negativity I'm feeling towards somebody and how it's affecting my life right now. So it's such an unconscious thing we do where I'm like living this, like I'm writing this, I'm speaking to it, I'm practicing to figure out how to share this with you. And this morning I'm like, wait, I probably shared this negativity with 5 people this week. I mean, so I'm just always explaining these things that I am merely mirroring that I'm part of you. I'm still on this journey, and I'm not perfect. I'm not perfectly awakened, but my goal is to be. And I'm only here to remind you that hopefully your goal is that too, right? So the principles are tools to align us with God mind, as well as aligning our consciousness with the laws of the universe, right? So if we realize that it's the words and the thoughts that we're putting out into ourselves, the universe, into God mind, it's connecting us with the laws of life. And the laws of life are the law of attraction, the laws of cause and effect. It's the laws of karma. It's the laws of all of the laws. There's actually these laws that we can live by to understand when we feel stuck and blocked and we're not moving and we don't feel like we know how to get past this something, a wall that could be in our way. And we realize that we're not aligning first with God mind and observing where we're coming up short. And when we've observed where we're coming up short, we don't beat ourselves up about it. We're merely observing. Okay, I've been doing this a long time. I can do this better. And when you have a hiccup like I did today, it was like, okay, I can bless that person. I know that rule. Blessing makes a situation holy. That is bringing agitation or something difficult for us. When we bless people, we put it in the hands of God. We no longer have to look upon it and know that it's already being taken care of, right? So I wanted to share this passage from Discover the Power Within You from Eric Butterworth, which kind of really explains the bigger goal on this path. Let us remember that heaven, as Jesus uses the term, refers to a present potential rather than a future place. He said the kingdom of heaven is at hand in Matthew 3:2. The kingdom of heaven is always within the creation, as the kingdom of heaven is always within the creation, as the oak tree is always in the acorn. The whole is always in the part. The divine being that you can be is always the depth potential within the struggling human person you can sometimes be. The whole is always in the part, the divine being that you actually already are, but the potential sitting there if you're not feeling like you are. When you realize that you are a divine being, you have divinity with this greater power, this source, this love we call God, Spirit, Allah, whatever word, it's a wordless thing. It's an energy. So if I'm saying a word that triggers you, then replace it. Because it's in and through all of the religions. It's in all of them, because they're all okay. All roads that lead to love are good. What matters it your faith or mine? All lead us to the gold, divine. Unity is about unifying, not separation. So, one of the ways that we can start to discover heaven in the very midst of us is looking at our light language that we are sharing with ourselves, with our children, with our spouses, with spirit, with the universe, you know? And one of the ways we can really reflect on it, here's some words that are really not helpful to light language. I have to. I have to is probably the biggest offender among language habits that will keep you locked in 3D. You never have to anything. You always have a choice. You may not like the consequences. You may have cultural or family pressures to do certain things, yet there is always choice. We were adorned with free will. So if you don't feel that you have free will, then you're giving power to powers outside of yourself. And again, this is the journey of us-centered. So this separates even the spouses, all of the opinions of those that preceded us, that are around us. This is a journey of discovering the heart and the mind of the soul that you are. And in that, you'll discover perfection. So you might have those outer situations of family pressure to do certain things. So when we decide to banish that phrase, I have to, from a place where I'm free to, or I want to, right? We'll say, I have to pick up my child at 4 o'clock today. That, when we're not really considering it, that's kind of a negative statement. But I want to pick up my child at 4 o'clock today. I choose to pick up my child at 4 o'clock today, right? I have to confines us. And the ultimate feeling, I think, of feeling God is feeling free. People always say all these different words that they want to use. We want to feel loved. We want to feel love. We want to feel peace. But when you feel free, you feel all of that. Because then you're just within this divine potential and flow. Freedom's a beautiful thing, right? So, it goes on to say from that passage, no matter where you are or what you may be, no matter how much you have lost or how little you have gained, no matter how far you may think yourself to be from the heights you've set for yourself or feel that God has set for you, the power to become is your divine inheritance. Your power to become, just limitless, limitless. Think of the vibrations that go through the oceans and the rivers and the waters. The freedom to become. You can be healed if you believe in your divinity. The freedom to become is endless. So many of us walk around in this entrapment of thoughts and words that speak to something different than that, that speak to problematic issues with workers, with bosses, with friends, with roommates, with you name it. And we give so much power to other when all the answers are right here. All the answers are right here. So light language, what are you sharing with others? The universe, out loud, or in your mind's eye, or to yourself? Take an inventory for a minute. And when you recognize an area of something that you might be sharing to yourself or other that might be limiting your progress, love yourself for that. Don't be hard on yourself for that, because that's not the light language. The light language goes, okay, I see we've been making a little mistake here. I see that I keep creating this out-picturing of this way I feel about myself, so I need to love myself with my language more. I have to understand that this universe loves me, and I can do better, even if it's a little bit better and a little bit better, right? We grow in little bits. We can't come from here to there. Every day, we can just do a little bit and a little bit better. In Discover Power Within You by Eric Butterworth, it says this: thus, when life demands of you, speak the word of truth. Affirm for yourself, I am a spiritual being. I am whole and free. I am confident and capable. I am the master of my life. I am being the greatest words of God, for God. I am. And you're all the things that you have that's on the other side of I am. So I am whole and free. I am confident and capable. I am the master of my life. Obviously within the divinity of this greater power and source. And my favorite again is I am whole and free. I am whole and free heals the body. It heals the mind. It heals every aspect that's fragmented and broken off from you, which is not you, because you're whole and free. You can affirm that right now. You can leave here today whole and free. Or you can keep speaking to the brokenness and the stories of your past and the hurts of your life and the ills of your body, and watch how you keep adding unto yourself more illness, more fragmented issues with humans and things of this nature, right? Because we're calling it to us. So freedom, in my opinion, this is written by Jim Morrison, the great singer. Freedom, in my opinion, is a powerful goal. Freedom from lower thoughts, freedom from I have to, freedom from this cumbersome feeling of entrapment. It's something that feels out of your control. And yet you are the master of your life, so nothing has any control over you. You are letting it have a say over your life. It's you. It's you. I think the great creatives understand how when you think of artists, they're very usually isolated to their guitar, and they're writing music, and they're facing those places of brokenness and heartbreak, and facing the feeling of great love, and they're feeling the great feelings of fear, and they're writing songs from that. And so they're analyzing. They're always sitting in the feeling body to try to share with us and mirror to us what we sometimes can't quite come to understand. Music is such a beautiful way for us to resonate with the constructs of all of these disembodied energies that are feeding our lives. And so when we hear of love songs, what happens to us when we're in love, or our lover, things aren't going well with it? You just find yourself crying, Because it's the resonance of this light that we all want. And we want that kind of passionate light love in every aspect of life, because we feel whole when we can give unconditional love to others. It's never about what we receive. It always comes from the us out. We think when we're in mad, passionate love with somebody, it's from what they're giving to us, and it's not. It's the burning up of us being able to share the truth of our true beings. So feeling stuck is a signal that you've stopped growing. It's as simple as that. And when most people feel stuck, since they don't understand that it's tied to a fundamental need for growth. When we feel stuck, it's the warning sign that the universe is saying, okay, you need to do something different. It's time to face oneself. What are you thinking about yourself? What are you saying about yourself? What are you sharing with others about yourself? Or what are you sharing about your children? What are you sharing about your marriage? Are you praying with people and wanting to hold the spaces in a light energy versus just telling the ill tale for a release that's temporary? And then really what you're doing is building more and more of that discord into whatever situation you're sharing with others, because you're giving it more life. You're giving it a life form in you, through you. And I'm going to tell you, it's hard to really learn to be quiet. We fill a lot of space in our interactions with others because we get uncomfortable. And so we'll share the little nitpicky things, and we kind of fill in the conversations with these things because it keeps the conversation going. You'll notice when people are really working on themselves, you don't really surround yourself with a lot of people unless you're surrounding yourself with people that are light beings, where you are working on, or they're on the same journey, finding this more and more light, right? Because then you get to discuss the things of God, the things of source, the things of healing, the things of solutions, the language of God. Discovering, that's my favorite thing to talk about, is trying to figure out how this nameless energy has a code to it. How does it work? And every once in a while you have this aha moment. And you get that there actually is a pattern. There is something that you can live by. And when you have faith that this greater something wants more for you than you could ever want for yourself, then you start to stop trying to control everything and dictate everything. That's where we get in the way, because we're in fear to trust that God or source is ultimately, in the end, the driving force for all of it. And that takes faith. And it also takes strength to keep those words from coming out of your mouth. You're like, ooh, that would feel good because I'm really upset with this person to say this. But then we never feel good. We don't feel good when we don't feel God. We don't feel good when we act like somebody that's not God. People can project things on us, and we know that's of the layer of nature, but that doesn't mean we have to meet that energy anymore. And we'll be tested. We'll be tested because it helps us grow, helps us expand, help us awaken, right? So when we feel like we're in those stuck places where we can't kind of find the door to open, to move through, and that's not usually in all areas of our life, it's usually maybe one or two, and you just are beating on this door and it's closed. It's in the breath. It's in the releasing that you're never going to find out how to move through that door until you surrender and let go of it. And give it to the greater power of love. Release yourself of the bondage that you think that you're going to get some vision in your dreams, you're going to get some vision in your meditations. You may get one of those, but you never get them until you surrender it first. And we wonder, they'll say, oh, it's right at that peak when things just get so terrible, that then the breakthrough happens. No, it's not. It's because it's gotten so terrible that we found that we couldn't even live within this cavern of anxiety and stress, that it forced us to surrender and let go. And then, miracle of miracle, the answer is right there in front of us. And so we can go into these cycles where we keep doing that, and we'll keep fighting up against those things that seem closed. But when we live in this perfection of this divine ideal, this divine expression that we are, this God mind that's us, and we can surrender our attachments, God will never take anything from you. The universe will take from us that is the limitations, the blocks, the negations from our power, from our light, from our calling. But when we keep hitting that door that's closed, that's proof that we don't really believe and have faith that there's something that we're co-creating with that is so much more powerful than we could ever understand. And embrace that relationship. We'll go through spells where we're heightening our consciousness, and you might even feel like for months you were in 5D consciousness. You really were having beautiful, vivid dreams, divine direction on what you need to do, waking up and having, hints and callings to every step of your life, and we'll feel like we realize, I'm not part of this universe. I am the entire universe. There's moments we get that, and we live within it, and it's magic. And then the human condition finds its way back in, and we find ourselves back on the road, on the journey of awakening. And these are the cycles. We're going from 3D to 5D. We're doing that right now. We're learning what 3D and 5D are, and sometimes we're living in 4D, right? And the goal is that you're going to do both, because we have to heal the unhealed part of ourselves and leave it in 3D eventually and get to 5D and stay there. So while we're in this journey, we're still going to have uprooted things. The journey is about healing, right? So I don't know if anyone else has experienced this in their life right now, but I have been feeling many waves of energetic experiences that are showing up in my life that are unearthing very deep, deep things that I thought I had healed. And there's a repeating current that's been happening in the last month and a half. Even though I was in the year of 8, I really didn't want to have to go back into another cavern of the same place I've been before and I've healed. And yet, this is coming up this time, and it doesn't have the same trigger. My sense of God mind is here. But there's a last piece that's calling me to release it. And it's by way of all of these things that the universe is asking me to now open up and expand in my career and in my life. So I'm realizing as this big expansion and beautiful opportunities are coming my way, this little girl is still freaking out, still doesn't think she's good enough. And so I've had to be with her. I've had to sing with her. I've had to hold her. Because I know I'm good enough for this moment. I know I'm loved enough for this moment. But still, there's this little something that has this low-grade fever of doubt. Can anybody relate with that? Right? So we don't get upset that something we thought was healed comes back up, because it's a deepening and a deepening of understanding of how Spirit works in us. I could feel that little girl doing it while I've been doing all these things, doing these tests, going ahead. And I was like actually trying to trick that she was gone. Like, no, she's gone. She's gone. No, she's not. Not as loud, much more faint. But it was a vibrational thing that was keeping me here instead of here, right? So this is coming up, and everybody I talk to, I'm hearing a similar thing. We're feeling so much better this year than we were last year. Last year was just a cluster. I mean, it was just bringing up everybody's stuff, and it was like a tornado, you know what I mean? And we learned a lot about ourselves there, but we were all like jumping and diving into 2024 and kind of like looking back and flipping it off. Like, that was fun. So we want to just come here and be in bliss and in the hot tub in the whirlpool, but it just is not that way. But it's different this time, because we have this light language where we can be so loving to self, to that little girl, or to that trauma, or to that cut that made you feel that you were less than holy or whole. And recognize that this is par for the course. We've chosen to be divine in nature. And divine in nature can't bring brokenness with us, because brokenness does not deem freedom. Brokenness can't bring freedom. So, healing is not becoming the best version of yourself. Healing is letting the worst version of yourself be loved. So many of us have turned healing into becoming the super perfect version of ourselves. That is bondage. That is anxiety waiting to happen. Healing is saying every single version of me deserves love, deserves tenderness, deserves grace. When we get to a place where we can see and empathize with every version of ourselves, even the version of ourselves we can sometimes be ashamed of, that's when we know we are walking in the path of healing and awakening. Love you guys.
What a great thing it is that we can come to this place and be reminded that we're all on a journey. I mean, this is not just happenstance. We just aren't just hanging out. There's a plan to come to life. We're made in the image and likeness of God, but the plan is that we would become expressions of that image and likeness. And today's talk is reminding us how to take care of ourselves on this journey. What an amazing thing that is. So we have freely received. Now we have an opportunity to freely give. And to those of you that are watching this on live stream, I say to you, you have these different ways that you can donate, or you can scroll down. If you're online on our website, you can scroll down to where it says donate, and it'll give you the opportunity to donate. But do donate something. Don't just take it for granted. You know, it costs us money to be here. So, and everyone here can bring to mind or bring into their hands that gift they'd like to make to Unity of Boulder, and let's bless it with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And we have the opportunity to listen to Rebecca Braxis share their music with us again.
Lots going down today. Keep loving, keep giving. This may take some forgiving. Don't let them take your power away. No, we can't change the world with just one love and thought. We can light each other's way with the love of God. We've just got to stand up, stand tall. We've just got to rise up and hear the call. We can change the world, change the world. When it all seems lost, keep loving, keep giving, keep getting up when you're down. Do the right thing when no one's around. Oh, we can change the world with just one love and thought. We can light each other's way with the love we've got. We've just got to stand up, stand tall. We've just got to rise up and hear the call. We can change the world, change the world. When that day comes for my soul to be free, how would I know that I put love and peace into destiny? We can change the world with just one love and thought. We can light each other's way with the love we've got. We've just got to stand up, stand tall. We've just got to rise up and hear the call. We can change the world with just one love and thought. We can light each other's way with the love we've got. We've just got to stand up, stand tall. We've just got to rise up and hear the call. We can change the world. Yeah. Change the world.
Okay, thank you, Rebecca. I love that song. It's awesome. All right, at the end of the service, afterwards, about 10 minutes after, I'll hold a circle group that I hold for about 20 minutes if people want to come and join it and discuss the service or share a loving thing that they'd like to share in their life. And if you're dealing with a hard thing in your life, we've got prayer partners available to you. If I could have you guys stand up right now. At the completion of the service, you just stay seated in your seat, and they will come and find you and pray with you, either here in the sanctuary or down in our beautiful meditation room. Is there anything?
Don't forget that you have an opportunity to serve and serve big. Thursday night at 6:30, be here and do some singing with the choir. You're going to love it.
All right, let's all circle
And it's a
around.
great way to make friends.
It is.
Really.
Yeah.
Sing together, make friends.
So we're going to do a circle all the way around these two banks of pews and hold hands and sing Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Oh.
Yeah. While we're standing here, we can just take in all the faces of God. Just take them all in. Look at all these beautiful beings. Here we go.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was given to me. With God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow to take and rest in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Speak kinder to yourselves. All right. A spiritual center that dances together stays
I
together. Here we go.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release in the Spirit and my heart.
Awesome.
Open wide.
Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle. No more strife. With my